All right. So I hope you have the Excel file that I sent you. Okay, nakuha nyo ba guys? Pwede na ako mag-poll dito eh, kaso hindi ko pa nasusubukan yung...
So, nasa modules po ba? Or sa file?
Yes, nasa module 5. Let me check yung poll dito. Mas maganda kasi yung poll sa sa Big Blue. Ito medyo nangangapa pa ako dito sa But let me check. Enter title.
Under module 5 po, parang wala pa pong Excel.
Meron na. Kanina tinanong yan eh. Did you get it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Nakuha na raw. Sino tatanong?
Dick po. Sorry.
Dick? Hindi mo pa nakuha?
Parang
I-check ulit.
Sige po.
The rest, were you able to get it? Subukan ko nga mag-poll. Guys, hindi ko pa na Hindi ko pa nasubukan. Let me try this. Let me try. First time kong ita-try itong poll dito. Did you receive a poll question, guys?
No, sir.
Wala.
Wala po, sir.
Ano kaya to? Hindi ko. Ang hirap ng poll sa Zoom eh. Hindi ko pa, I haven't tried this. Anyway, so, sino hindi pa nakakuha ng file? Aside from, Dick, nakuha mo na?
Meron na po.
Meron na? Okay, so, guys, meron na kayo lahat?
Sir, yung add-in ba to Excel yun?
Yes, it's an add-in to Excel. Okay, I requested you guys to download itong sa RealStat. I gave you this site, and then if you're using Mac or whether you're using Mac or Windows, merong add-ins na dinevelop si Charles Zions, no? Zions. I like this add-ins. Well, first of all, free siya. Tapos it makes yung data analysis ni Excel really very, very powerful. Kasi yung data analysis ni Excel very limited eh. But with this, guys, with this add-ins, talaga multiple yung yung capability ng data analysis. And I find it easy to explain yung mga categorical variables, dummy variables. Before going to R, I find it easier to explain it in Excel para mas makuha kagad natin yung concept, and then we move to R. So for this afternoon, most likely Excel muna tayo, and then we'll migrate to, on Thursday, we'll migrate to R, solving the same concepts using R. Pero mas maganda yun kasi naintindihan natin kagad kung ano yung natin, kung what we're doing. All right, so just by way of quick review, I told you to list down the assumptions of the classical linear regression model, and here are some of them. The first one is that the regression model is linear in the coefficients and the error term. Ang ibig sabihin ng linear, yung mga coefficients, guys, B1, B2, B3 pertain to the parameters of the regression equation. Depende kung ilan yung ilan yung independent variables. So dapat linear siya. Hindi pa pwede na yung coefficient natin is expressed in, for example, meron siyang root, no? B to the 1/2 or log of B or B1 over B2. Ito yung mga parameters natin, hindi pa pwede yan, guys. So hindi pa pwede yung parameters natin, yung coefficients, yung B1, B2, B3, etc. to be expressed in this form. Kailangan linear siya, B1, B2, B3 lang siya. Hindi pa pwede naka-square root, hindi pa pwede naka-log, hindi pa pwede naka-divide yung parameters. Okay, secondly, dapat yung error terms natin, yung mean niya dapat 0. Okay, that's I think in the past we have already proven that. Tapos, no independent variable is a perfect linear function of other explanatory variables. hindi pa pwedeng related yung independent variables natin. Otherwise, if they're highly correlated, magkakaproblema tayo sa regression model natin. We will have what we call perfect or high multi-collinearity. Pero pag talagang directly related sila, kunyari si X is a function of, si X1 is a function of X2. For example, na-on ko na ba ito? So when does this happen, guys? Sorry, hindi ko pa yata na-on yung ano ko. Yung writing pad. Yan guys ha. Mukhang hindi gumagana yung ano ko yung it's not working. Wait. Sorry. Set up pa lang siya. Okay. So when I say guys collinear, kunyari we have a variable x1. Oops. Ayaw pa rin. Sorry guys ha. Wait. All right. So when we say collinear, you have variable x1. It doesn't work. Okay, never mind. Okay, okay, so kunyari guys, si variable natin x1. And then another variable x2. Ay naman hindi lang, naghang na naman. Okay, sorry guys, naghang yung computer ko. Uh-oh. Okay guys, medyo naghang yung computer ko, no? So sige, basahin ko na muna to guys. Alright, in the course of our discussion of regression, we're going to go through this. Like number 4, the model is correctly specified. Ibig sabihin, dapat walang specification bias. Ano ibig sabihin ng correctly specified? Kunyari guys, si dependent variable y, ang relation talaga niya with the dependent variable, independent variable is, sabihin natin kunyari x squared, ano dapat? Squared yung relation. Like y is equal to, waiting for another, y is equal to x squared plus something. No? And then we were modeling it just like a linear model. Eh, hindi pa pwede yun kasi ang relationship nga ni, wawala na naman tong, okay. Ang relationship nga ni y at saka ni x is non-linear. Oo, dali ah. What's the matter with this one? May mga technical glitch naman ako dito. Is waiting for another application to complete an OLE action. Okay. Naghang ang aking computer. Okay, it's not cooperating now. Kailangan medyo patience, not responding. Can you see my screen, guys?
Wait lang din, sir.
Ah,
No.
bakit?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Di,
Naglalag
bakit?
ata,
Oh, sir. Sir, naglalag po.
Ah,
Screen nyo po. Parang may blue na loading. Tas,
oo nga eh. Ayaw mag-ano eh. Dali.
Baka need i-restart, sir.
Oo nga eh. Sige, I'll go out muna, guys, ha. I'll go out muna of the session and then come back kasi mukhang just stay there, no?
Okay, sir.
Dali lang, ha. Stop sharing muna ako. Okay, so going back here, guys, I was saying that there are certain assumptions sa classical linear regression model. So it's not enough for us to have the model generated whether by Excel or by R, tapos na. Hindi pa pwedeng ganun. We will have to check the validity of the model. For example, kailangan yung wala dapat multi-collinearity dun sa ano natin, sa mga independent variables natin. And if you recall, ang ginamit natin na measure dyan, yung VIF, yung variance inflation factor. Dapat hindi sosobra sa, yung strict na measure is 5. Pero sabi natin, minsan tinatanggap yung between 5 to 10. But more than 10, definitely no yon. No? Tapos sabi ko nga kanina, dapat walang specification bias. What does specification bias mean? Ang ibig sabihin ng specification bias, guys, mali yung pag-model natin, mali yung ginamit natin na model. And when does this happen? So, for example, I try now try ko na ulit yung writing pad, guys. Sorry, ah. Okay, when does that happen, guys? Kunyari, yung relationship ng dependent variable to the dependent variable dapat, let's say, quadratic. Siguro x squared dapat o x cubed, polynomial dapat. Tapos minodel mo as linear. Magkakaroon ka ng specification bias kasi maling model ang ginagamit mo. Kunyari, dapat nakalog sila, mas maganda kung nakalog, tapos hindi mo ilalog, may specification bias yun. No? And there are tests. May pwede tayong mga statistical tests to know if there's specification bias. Okay, tapos dapat yung mga error terms dapat hindi sila correlated. So we said last time that this is more an issue with time series data kasi may natural order yung chronology ng mga observations natin. Sa cross-sectional data, not so much kasi it doesn't matter kung pagbalik rin natin yung order ng mga observations. No? Wala tayong issue sa ganun. Pero pag time series, hindi natin pwedeng pagbalik ta rin. So yung correlation, yung autocorrelation ng mga error terms is more an issue in time series, and we'll discuss that when we go to time series. Hopefully next week, maka time series na tayo. Alright? And then, all independent variables are uncorrelated with the error term. Dapat hindi rin related yung independent variables natin dun sa error terms. Tapos, error terms natin dapat hindi constant yung variance. Diba? If you recall right, yung variance natin ng error terms, dapat walang pattern yun. Pag plinat natin yung error terms after our model, dapat walang trend tayong nakikita. Kunyari, tumataas, umaakyat yung error terms, or may fanning out. Magana ba to? Still doesn't work. Sorry. Kailangan ko kasi isulat sana eh. Okay. Sabi natin ito. Okay. Ito yung error. Pag plinat natin error terms, no? If we plot the error terms, dapat wala siyang pag ganyan yung error terms natin, guys, problematic yan kasi may trend siya. May trend, di ba? Ibig sabihin, our model was not able to capture this movement. Or may fanning out. Parang nagfa-fan out siya over the observations, no? Lumalaki yung variance. This is also a problem which we call heteroscedastic, no? Or another pattern could be like this, no? Yan, pag ganyan yung error terms natin, may problema tayo sa modeling natin kasi you still see hindi random to eh. These error terms are not random. Kailangan yung error terms natin random siya, or what we call as homoscedastic, no? Pag hindi homoscedastic yung error terms natin, which are heteroscedastic, ito yung examples nun, magkaka-problem tayo. So hindi valid yung model natin. Okay, and lastly, the error term is normally distributed. Okay, we'll take a look at this also. Okay, so now we're going to look at this data. So ito yung data natin, no? We have 1,200 something data points. Hindi natin nakikita dito sa Excel. Okay, 289 data points. So ano tong data na to? You have here wage. This is hourly wage per hour. US setting to this is a cross-sectional data, which means, I think if I'm not mistaken, this was taken 1979 or 1982. I forgot the details. Ito yung hourly wage, okay? Then we'd like to regress hourly wage on education and experience. May relationship ba si hourly wage at saka si education at saka kay experience? So let's not mind first itong tatlong categorical variables na to. So pag magre-regression tayo, di ba, meron tayong null hypothesis, di ba? Okay, ano yung mga null hypothesis natin dyan? Pag sa research na, ang tinitingnan natin, is there a relationship between education and wage? No? So ang null hypothesis natin dyan, null is that beta, let's call this B1 is equal to, B1 is equal to B2. Sama natin intercept. B null is equal to B1 is equal to B2 is equal to 0. No? So gusto natin malaman kung significant ba yung mga parameters natin. This is your intercept. Okay, this is your intercept. This is your education. Okay, and this is your experience. Okay. So education, guys, is the number of years spent in school, no? Ibig sabihin to 20 years na nag-aaral. So malamang siyempre may college to, no? Yung iba 9 lang, malamang hanggang high school lang to, no? So ito 5, ibig sabihin hindi man lang nakatapos ang elementary siguro yan, no? Okay, etc. Sorry. Experience pala yung tinitingnan ko. This is experience in terms of work dun sa company itself, no? Education naman, number of years spent in studying. So may mga 18, ibig sabihin nito baka nag-masters to, no? College masters. Yung iba naman 5, ibig sabihin hindi nakatapos ng elementary yan. So where we would like to determine, meron bang relationship si wage dito kay education at saka kay experience? Meron ba? Is there a significant relationship between them? If there's a relationship between them, is the relationship positive or negative? If it's significant, no? So, i-regress muna natin yan. Okay, here. Okay. So, when you first installed, guys, si RealStat, lalabas dito yung add-ins. Okay? So, sino-sino kay install lang yung RealStats? Dapat may makikita kayong add-ins dito. Tapos, sa iba kasi, guys, after you close Excel, tas buksan mo ulit, ando dun pa rin siya. For whatever reason, guys, hindi nag-a-appear sa akin. Kasi gagamitin natin yung RealStats ngayon kasi definitely mas maganda siya kaysa dun sa data analysis na Excel. So, in order to make it appear, what I do is go to File, Options. Since na-install ko na yan, andi dito na yan siya. No? Add-ins. Okay, andito siya. X, RealStats. But what I have to do is I have to first, here, go. I have to first unclick it. Okay. And then, i-ano ko na naman siya, i-click ko siya, no? Options. Add-ins. Okay. And then go here, go. Yan. Click ko siya. And then okay. Alright. Yan, lalabas siya dito, guys. Add-ins. No? Add-ins. And if I click this, yan, real statistics. Okay. Paki-ano nga, guys? Paki-feedback kung meron na kayo niyan. Meron na kayo?
Yes, sir. Meron po.
Okay. Sinong wala pa? Kung wala pa, guys, dun muna kayo sa data analysis na Excel, no? Pero I hope na ma-install nyo na ngayon para makasabay kayo sa discussion, although naka-record naman tong discussion natin. All right. So first, guys, let's regress wage on education and experience. I leave this descriptive statistics to you guys. Pero pag ginawa nyo to, dapat yung wage katabi dun sa ano. Katabi dapat. So pwede nyo ilipat yung wage dun sa education and experience. So let's go first to the regression output. So let's use yung real statistics, and then data analysis tools. Tingnan nyo, guys, ang daming functions niya. Meron descriptive statistics, no? So descriptive statistics, ang dami. Many possible options. May matrix operations pa nga dito. May multiple scatter plots. These are not present in, karamihan dito wala sa Excel. Then regression, yan, ang dami. May polynomial, logistic, Poisson, may ridge regression pa. Kita so may mga iba't ibang tests which are non-present sa Excel. Tapos may ANOVA, although meron sa Excel nito pero walang ganitong klaseng dami, no? Then time series, ito wala kay Excel to. Okay? Time series, multivariate, wala rin kay Excel, MANOVA, may permutational MANOVA, etc. May correlation dito, okay? And may miscellaneous, no? Okay, so very plenty of free add-ins sa Excel. So we're going to use first regression. Iba't ibang klaseng regression dito. May mediation, may ridge, may Poisson. Okay, ang gagamitin natin si multiple regression. Okay. So input range, input X range, at saka yung input Y range. Dapat, guys, yung mga independent variables natin, yung explanatory variables natin, dapat magkakatabi siya. Hindi pa pwede dito, just like in Excel, hindi pa pwede yung may gap. Hindi pa pwede maglalagay ka lang ng comma o kaya ng semicolon. Kailangan magkatabi sila. So for our purposes, since we're regressing wage on education and experience, okay lang tayo dito, no? Okay, so let's highlight our explanatory variable. Control Shift down arrow. Okay. So from row 1 up to row 1290. And then for our input range, our Y, our dependent variable, we have wage. Control Shift down arrow. Okay, pause muna ako, ha? Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to follow. Okay, guys? All right. So dito may mga iba pang may mga iba pang pwedeng output, may residuals na at saka si Cook's distance. May Durbin-Watson test pa for normality test. Tapos mamaya i-discuss natin si stepwise at saka si solver hindi natin gagamitin. Tapos dito ginagamit tong robust standard error, guys, kung may issue tayo ng heteroscedasticity, no? So may mga HC 0, 1, etc. Iba't ibang klaseng pang-address ng homoscedasticity or heteroscedasticity issues. But we'll postpone our discussion for that. Dito muna tayo sa simple regression. So okay, saan natin ilalagay? Dito ilalagay sa, I'll put it dito na lang. I'll put it here in P1. Patungan na lang yan. Okay. Override. Yeah, okay lang. There, guys. Okay. So we have our first regression output. Tingnan nyo, guys, mas convenient actually si RealStat kasi automatically nagbibigay siya ng Akai key, no? Yung Akai key information criterion, ginagamit natin to compare which among two models or three models is better. Okay, so what's our model, guys? Okay, very quick, guys. Very quickly. Okay, tingnan natin. Okay. So ang adjusted R squared natin is 27%, di ba? Ano ibig sabihin nitong 27% na to? Ibig sabihin, adjusted R squared, 27% of the variability of wage, kasi ito yung dependent variable natin, ito yung minomodel natin, 27% nito, guys, can be explained by your education and experience combined. So silang dalawa, guys, na-explain nila yung variability ni wage by 27%. Ibig sabihin, 73% nun ang hindi nila kayang ma-explain, no? Okay? So standard error is 6.7, 'di ba? Ito yung standard error of our regression. Ito yung standard deviation ng residuals natin, no? Okay, so AIC 4916, this has SBC, yung Schwartz Bayesian criterion. This has no meaning unless we compare it. Naalala nyo? The lower, the better. Kunyari, may kino-compare tayo isang model, tapos yung AIC niya, mas mababa kaysa dito, then that's the better model. Okay, then here guys, ano yung ano natin dito? Ang null hypothesis natin dito, which I mentioned a while ago, is that B null is equal to B1 is equal to B2 is equal to 0. No? So yun, ito yung overall goodness of fit natin, si ANOVA. Okay, very quick review lang to guys, no? Overall goodness of fit. And what's our inference guys to this hypothesis? Ang inference natin, ito, si Yelsat sinasabi niya kung significant, no? With the p-value practically equal to 0, then we reject this null hypothesis that beta null is equal to beta 1 is equal to beta 2 is equal to 0. So reject to. No? Reject the null hypothesis kasi significant yung p-value natin. Ang conclusion natin, ang inference natin, at least one of these parameters is not equal to 0. Hindi natin alam, by F statistic, hindi natin alam kung sino dyan. Pero ang alam natin na at least one of these is not equal to 0. Alright? And then we go here, ito na individual test of the coefficients. No? So here we can see that your p-value, that your intercept is significant. So may null hypothesis naman tayo dito. This is now B null is equal to 0. Isa lang yan. Kasi individual test na to eh. Dito naman, null natin B1 is equal to 0. Tapos dito sa pangatlo, B2 is equal to 0. So for null, B null is equal to 0, we reject that hypothesis. No? So significant si ano natin, significant si intercept. Si B1 naman guys, ito yung null hypothesis natin. We also reject this. We also reject this since the p-value is practically 0, and also B2, which is your experience. Yung mga p-values nila are all much less than 0.05. Okay? So mga significant predictors si education at saka si experience. Therefore, we can now write our model wage. Okay, di ba? Naalala to wage. Sub I, okay? This hat symbol means it's predicted, di ba? It's equal to negative 9.586. Okay, I'll just drop it to 3 decimal places. Plus 1.414 times education, okay? Sub I plus 0.1787 9, 3 decimal places times experience sub I. Bakit sub I guys? Kasi yung pag-predict natin ni kunyari first observation point, so wage sub 1, ibig sabihin yung unang observation natin, ang predicted niya will be equal to negative 9.586 plus 1.414 times education sub I, yung education niya. Okay, so sino ba yung observation 1 natin? Kunyari, observation 1 natin is this person with 12 years of education and 20 years of experience. So kung i-replace natin dito yung education is 12, experience is 20, makukuha natin yung predicted wage ni person number 1. And if we compare that with the actual wage, ano mangyari? Meron tayong error term, residual. No? Yun yung difference ng actual at saka ng residual. Okay? Clear so far, guys? Okay, ano ibig sabihin ng negative 9.586? Meaning ng negative 9.586. Anyone, please? Anyone? What's the meaning? What's the interpretation of negative 9.586? Ito. Ano ibig sabihin nito?
Sir, the value of wage when education and experience is 0?
Yes, correct. Very good. So this is the average wage, hourly, kasi hourly yung natin, no? Hourly wage, wage per hour. hourly wage. So this is the average value of your hourly wage when a person does not have any education at all, 0, and no experience, 0. Of course, guys, walang meaning yan kasi ano ibig sabihin yan? Siya pa magbabayad sa kumpanya kasi negative yan, di ba? Ang hourly wage niya, siya pa yung may utang sa company. Okay, wala siyang physical significance. However, we still put that in our model for prediction purposes. Okay, clear yun ha? Wala siyang physical interpretation, wala siyang pragmatic interpretation. Only that it's still used for forecasting or for predictive purposes. In fact, sabi natin, kahit na hindi siya significant, the practice is still to include the intercept. Okay, how about itong 1.414? What's the meaning of that? Ano meaning nito, guys? 1.414? This
Sir,
one. Yes, sige.
sir, for every 1 year increase in education, there's an increase in 1.414 in hourly wage.
Correct. Very good. Thank you so much. No? So this means, may kulang ka dun ha, for every,
Ceteris paribus.
yun, huwag niyo kakalimutan. Thank you. That's correct. For every 1 year. Okay, bakit 1 year? Kasi you're talking here of the effect of education on wage. Okay, ito yung marginal effect ni education on wage, itong 1.414. Ang sinasabi niyan, pag mag-increase daw tayo ng isang unit kay education, and it just so happens that education is in years, so gagamitin natin si years as dimension, for every 1 year increase, okay, in education, there's a corresponding, there's a corresponding what? 1.414 dollars, kasi dollars yung denomination natin ng wage, increase, no? In what, guys? In
Hourly wage po.
hourly wage. Tapos, huwag kakalimutan, guys, huwag kakalimutan na dapat nakalagay si Ceteris paribus, no? Ceteris paribus, which means all others remaining the same. Ceteris paribus. Ibig sabihin, dapat constant si, dapat hindi magbabago si experience. Ang babaguhin lang natin si education. Anong ibabago natin sa kanya? Increase na natin ng 1 year. Pag increase na natin sa education ng 1 year, si hourly wage magi-increase ng 1.414 dollars per hour. Assuming that experience will not change, will not be increased. Okay? So ganun din guys si si experience, no? Si experience sa bawat 1 year increase in experience, there's a corresponding $0.179 hourly wage increase. Okay? Ceteris paribus, which means education remaining constant. Clear yan, guys?
Yes po.
Okay, of course, mayroon tayong and then nakaano naman to, no? Since predicted siya, guys, okay, i-predict natin, so wala tayong dito. Walang plus error term, no? Pero pag hindi natin predict, pag tanggalin ko tong hat na to, guys, meron tayong error term, no? Kuha nyo? Kasi predicted to eh. Ibig sabihin, ano yung value ng ano yung predicted value natin? So yung predicted value, guys, hindi error yan. Walang error yan. Kasi predicted value nga yan eh. Pero yung may error term, guys, yung we're not talking of the predicted value. Okay? So sige guys. So quick review lang yan. Then let's go to the next one. Ito. Okay, we're now going to, for the first time, we're going to use what we call categorical variables. Paano ba kung isasama natin itong tatlong variables na to? Okay, we're going to include si gender, si race, at saka si union. No? So si gender, ilang klase to? Gender, 2 klase, female at saka si male. Sa race naman, 2 klase din, si white at saka si non-white. Sa union naman, meron tayong union members at saka non-union members. Okay, so pwede bang gamitin yung categorical variables to explain your dependent variable which is wage? Yes, pwede guys. No? Pwede. You can use categorical variables or factors in order to regress or explain your outcome variable. Okay, so very quick notes here. Okay, so sabi dito, pag isasama natin yung intercept sa model natin, and if a qualitative variable has, sorry dito, m categories, then we need to only introduce m-1 dummy variables. Okay, ibig sabihin guys, pag pag magsasama tayo ng categorical variables, kailangan natin i-convert siya into dummy variables. Okay, ang rule guys, if there are k levels or we know this as factors, no? If there are k factors, then only introduce k-1 dummy variables. Ano yung dummy variables, guys? We're going to replace your variables with 0 or 1. Usually 0 or 1. Okay. Merong iba gumagamit ng 1 tsaka 10, but we're not going to use that. Ang usual naman na ginagamit 0 or 1. Okay, so how many categorical variables do we have? We have 3. Okay? We have 3. So kay female, hindi siya gender siya, sorry. Sa gender na variable, okay? Sa gender na variable, dalawang factors. There are 2 factors there, male and female. Therefore, how many dummy variables are we going to introduce for gender? Guys, ilan?
Isa lang po.
Isa lang. Tama. Isang dummy variable lang kay gender. Kay race, isa lang din. Kasi si race, white at saka non-white lang yan. No? Kay union, isa lang din. Okay? Union at saka non-union member. So pag na-introduce tayo ng isang gender, isang race, isang union, we will now have a total of 5 independent variables in the name of education, experience, tapos kung ano yung dummy variable ni gender, race, at saka union. Tagi-isa sila kasi tagi-isang factors lang naman yan. Okay, so in Excel, hindi natin pwedeng i-regress. So kahit subukan nyo guys, mag-error tayo kasi hindi mababasa ni Excel yung gender na yan. So what we have to do is to introduce, okay, so let's go here. Okay, let's copy this. Copy natin tong yes. Copy natin tong worksheet na to. Okay, wait. May hindi pa ba ako na-discuss dito? Okay, na-explain ko na to. Okay? If a qualitative variable has m categories, you may include m dummies. Okay, nga pala importante ito Yung number 2, guys. Pwede ba na kunyari, 2 categories ang isama ko? Ang isama ko 2 dummy variables din, guys? Is this possible? If a qualitative variable has m categories or m factors, you may include m dummies. Pwede rin mag-include nun. Kaso, provided that you do not include the common intercept. So, hindi tayo maglalagay ng intercept. Tatanggalin natin yung B null. Wala yung intercept. This way, we do not fall into what we call a dummy variable trap. I'll explain as we go along, guys, ano yung dummy variable trap na yan. Okay, so how do we now assign yung dummy variables? So you either assign 1, 0, or 1. Okay, kunyari, dun sa gender. Yung gender natin either male or female. So pipili tayo dyan. Sino yung gagawin nating 0? Okay, sabihin natin si male ang gagawin natin 0. Therefore, si female will be 1. No? So, ang sabi dito guys, the category that gets the 0 value is called your reference or benchmark or comparison variable or category. Okay? So, sino ba may rule ba kung sino pipiliin? It doesn't matter, guys. Magkakatalo na lang yan sa interpretation. It doesn't matter kung ang gawin nating benchmark is si female or si male. It doesn't matter. Okay, yung mga softwares usually, guys, kung sino yung nakikita nilang unang nag-a-appear, nangyari dito, unang nag-appear, no? Yung ibang software, ito yung ginagawa nilang benchmark. So si female yung ginagawa nilang 0. Okay? So, what else here? Ito. If there are several dummy variables, you must keep track of the reference category. Otherwise, it will be difficult to interpret the result. So, dapat alam natin kung sino yung ginawa nating benchmark or sino yung ginawa nating zero. At times, we will have to consider interactive dummies. We will consider this. Sana umabot tayo mamaya, no? Okay, since dummy variables take the values of 1 or 0, we cannot take their logarithms. Okay. So, hindi pa pwedeng kunin yung logarithm, ha? Okay? Yung logarithm, yung log, o yung ln ng dummy variable cannot be. Oops. It cannot be, guys. So, hindi pa pwede ito. Hindi pa pwede yan. Okay? And then, if the sample size is relatively small, do not introduce too many dummy variables. Okay? Remember that each dummy coefficient will cost 1 degree of freedom. Okay? So, kunyari, kukunti lang yung maliit lang yung sample size natin. It's not a good idea, guys, to include many dummy variables kasi maaapektuhan yung power ng ng model natin. Okay. So, tingnan ko nga to. Okay. So tanggalin ko na to, guys. Alright. So we'll now start regressing, no? Regress natin si Okay. So how do we now change? How do we now regress our dummy variables? So gawa natin, guys, maglagay tayo dito ng ano yung gusto nating benchmark. Let's use male as the benchmark, no? Male yung benchmark natin. So dapat si female, siya yung 1, no? O pwede rin, guys, ganito. Si male yung benchmark natin. So siya yung gagawin nating 0. Gawin natin si white yung benchmark natin sa race. Tapos si union yung dun sa union membership, no? Okay, so how do we now replace this values with 1 and 0? That will be simple. We'll just use the if function. If this is equal to this, okay, what value do we give it, guys? Mga benchmark natin to, yung tatlong to, therefore they get value equal to what?
0, sir?
0. Okay, 0. So if yung female na to equals sa male, then bibigyan natin siya ng 0, otherwise value of 1. Okay? Now, is there any cell here we need to fix? Itong si IJK, no? Dapat dito lang sila gagalaw sa row 1. So I'm going to fix row 1. All right, guys? Questions? Control Enter. So, tama, no? Hindi siya, kung male, dapat 0. Okay. And then, let me copy this to the right. Isang formula lang, then copy down. Kasi nakadikit. Tabi ko dito. Yan. Okay, guys? So, check natin. Sabi natin, male, white, union, yung benchmark natin. Kung sino yung benchmark, guys, sila yung dapat 0. No? Okay, so first, female. Female to, so dapat 1 yung ano niya, value. Ito white, dapat 0 siya. No? Kasi lahat ng white, 0. Ito non-union, okay? Union to. Okay, so non-union, so 1 siya. And then you can check the rest. Kunyari dito sa dulo. This is male, so 0 siya. White, tama, 0 siya. Union member siya, so 0 siya. Any questions, guys? Feedback, please. Any questions?
Answer.
Okay. All right.
Sir,
So,
pag ganyan po, itatabi na po siya sa numerical?
o
Or
itatabi
okay lang
natin
pong
kasi
ganyan?
dapat magkakatabi yung mga, ano ba yung mga independent variables natin? Si education, si experience, di ba? At saka si male, white, at saka si union. Dapat magkakatabi sila. No? Kaya ang gagawin ko dito, guys, tatanggalin ko yung formulas nila. Total, na-preserve pa naman, andito pa naman yung original na data natin. So, hindi mawawala yon. Andiyan lang naman yon. Okay? So, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to first, highlight ko silang lahat. And then, Control C for copy. And then, values lang. Paste values. Ito. Okay, doing that, guys, nawala na yung formula. Wala na yung formula. Bakit natin tinatanggal yung formula? Kasi, ilipat natin to dito. Transfer it here, okay? And then I'll transfer this one here. Yeah. Okay? So we now have your independent variables, magkakatabi na siya. Okay, kailangan sa real stat kasi dapat magkakatabi sila. Kung hindi sila magkakatabi, hindi mag-error tayo. Alright, so these are our independent variables. Yung education, experience, male, white, union, these are our independent variables. Yung wage natin yung dependent variable. Okay, so let's regress this now. Let me generate the output here. So I'll go first to M1 para automatic. Diyan natin ipapa-generate yung output ni real stat. Okay? So again, add-ins. Minsan guys, pag nawawala yung add-ins, you press Control M. Control M, lalabas yung yung function na ni real stats, no? Control M sa desktop, sa Mac yata, I'm not sure, Command M yata. All right, so we're going to do regression, multiple regression, guys, multiple regression. Si X natin will be from education hanggang union, no? Control Shift down arrow. Okay, so that's B1 up to F1290. Tama. Tapos si Y natin will be our wage. G1. Yan. Okay? So we have here column headings, okay, included with the data, yes. Include constant term. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, guys. Ang ginawa kasi natin dito, ilang dummy variables yung in-introduce natin. Sa gender, ilang dummy variable? Isa lang, di ba? Si male. Pwede bang i-introduce natin female at saka male? Pwede, guys. Magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang dummy variables. But in this case, dapat tatanggalin nyo yung include constant term. Tatanggalin nyo yan, no? If you want to do that. No? Okay, so let's do this now. Mamaya, tingnan natin stepwise. Okay? There. Alright? So, tingnan natin guys ha. R squared, adjusted R squared, 0.32. Compared yung kanina, yung dalawa lang yung regressors natin, yung unang-una. Ito. Did our model improve? Oo, it improved by a big amount, a big percentage, ano? Ito 0.27 lang. Ngayon yung ginamit na natin yung mga naging na siya, no? 0.32. There was a big increase. Okay? And then, ano pa? Standard error actually bumaba, no? This was 6.7, standard error dito, which is good, 6.85. Akaiki, AIC 4834, ito 4916. So definitely guys, mas maganda yung model natin na inintroduce natin yung tatlong dummy variables, no? Alright? And then look at the overall goodness of fit. P-value is less than 0.05. So, ang null hypothesis natin dito, just to review. Okay, null hypothesis natin dito guys is here. H null. B null, intercept natin, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5 equals 0. Bakit B5 guys? Bakit hanggang B5 ako nilagay ko? Why?
Sir, kasi po 5 na po yung independent variable.
Correct. 5 na yung regressors natin. Education, experience, male, white, union. Okay? So 5 na siya. Okay. And then, let's interpret this, guys. So significant ba si intercept? P-value less than 0.05. Ang null hypothesis natin dito is beta null is equal to 0. No? So we reject the null hypothesis. Okay. There's strong statistical reason to believe that in the intercept is a value other than 0. And then also for the rest, no? So lahat dito significant. Okay? Significant yung mga predictors natin. So ang ibig sabihin niyan, yung model natin, wage of I equals negative 0.8087 plus 1.370 education plus 0.167 experience plus negative 3.075 times male minus 1.565 times white plus minus negative 1 or minus 1.096 times union. Okay. Sige. And we know that all of them are significant kasi lahat ng mga p-values nila, okay, lahat ng p-values nila are significant, no? All their p-values are significant. So again, may mga individual tests sila. H1 is equal to H1, H null, B1 is equal to 0, B2 is equal to 0, independently, no? Isa-isa sila. Okay, so let's interpret this. What is the meaning of negative 6.08? Anyone? Ano ibig sabihin ng negative 6.08, guys?
Sir,
Yes.
it's the wage po when all independent variables are 0.
Okay, that's the wage when all the independent variables are 0. Negative 6.07087 are dollars per hour. Sabi nga natin, wala siyang physical na interpretation, ano, significance kasi wala naman talagang wage na per hour na negative 6. Okay, but let's be more specific about that. Okay, yung negative 6.08 na yan, that's the hourly wage of a what? Of a female, of a male, white, and union member without ano ba ginawa natin? Sorry. Okay. Dapat ang ginawa natin pala ditong sorry guys, nagkamali ako dito. Mas nakakalito yung ganito eh. Dapat ginawa ko tong female, non-white at saka non-union. Mas madali yun guys kasi ang kukunin tuloy natin ngayon yung opposite niya, no? I'll show you in a while. I should have used male white union member without education and experience. Okay. So ito guys yung intercept natin. Meaning of the intercept. So yung intercept natin, negative 6.08, that's the hourly wage of a male, white, union member without education and experience. Now, how did that happen? Bakit ko nasabi na ito yung interpretation yan? Kasi guys, sino nagsabi kanina na all your independent variables are 0? Sorry, who was that? Hindi ko nakita. Who was that? Sino yung kasasagot lang ngayon?
Sir, me po.
Anong
Pat.
names? Pat, sorry. Sorry Pat, hindi ko nakikita dito yung mga sumasagot ha. Okay. Dapat nga Alright. So sabi ni Pat, this negative 6.08 pertains to the hourly wage of it's our average hourly wage with all your independent variables equal to 0. No? Okay. So sige, tingnan natin. Tingnan nyo guys kung tama yung interpretation ko. No? Okay, so what's the meaning of negative 6.08? Okay, sabi natin, ito madali itong continuous variable natin. 0 education, 0 experience. Okay? Tapos ito naman guys, 0 to, ano ibig sabihin nun? Pag 0 yung gender natin, sino yon guys?
Male po.
Male. Male yung 0 natin, di ba? Si female yung ginawa nating 1. Sa race naman, sino yung 0 natin?
White po.
Si White, no? Si White ba? Ay, non-white pala tayo dito. Nagkamali ako. Wait. So female, okay. White.
Sir, pag 0, white. Pag 1, non-white.
Oo nga eh. Yan. So, yan. Ang lesson dyan guys, careful sa pagpili ng ano. Tsaka careful sa pag-model natin. Kasi ang ginawa ko, yung white dito, 0 siya, di ba? Okay, tama. Tama pala. White 0. Ang natin dito, ang benchmark is si male yung 0, si white 0, at saka si union 0. Right?
Yes, sir.
Tama guys? So, yung male natin, itong dummy variable natin, 0 to, di ba? Pag 0 to, guys, sino yon? Pag 0 yung variable na male, sino yon?
Male po,
Si
sir.
male. Oh. Itong white, pag 0 to, sino yon?
White, sir.
White. Pag union, guys,
Union, sir.
oo, pag 0 to, union, di ba? So in other words, guys, yung intercept is, okay, it's the value, the hourly wage of your dependent variable when this are all equal to 0. So sabi ko nga kanina, yung sa dependent, yung sa continuous variable, madali eh. Education is 0, okay? Experience is 0. Tapos itong variable na to, male is 0, white is 0, union is 0. Sino yung mga yon? Si male, si white, at saka si union, di ba? Guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes
Tama?
po.
Kaya sinabi
Yes
ko
po.
dito, the intercept is that value, average hourly wage of a male, kasi 0 dapat 0 siya dito, white, and union member who does not have any education nor experience. Kuha, guys? Hello, kuha?
Yes po.
Okay. So how about this one, guys? Sige, tingnan natin isa-isa to ha. How about education? Ano ibig sabihin ng 1.37 na to? What's the meaning of the slope 1.37? That's the
Sir, for every 1 year increase in education, there's an increase in $1.37 in hourly wage.
okay, hourly wage. Ceteris paribus.
Ceteris paribus.
Ceteris paribus. Okay, that's correct. How about sa experience? For every 1 year increase in experience, there's a corresponding $0.167 hourly wage increase in 0.167 increase in hourly wage. Tama, guys? Okay, ano ibig sabihin ng negative 3.07? Anyone? Okay. Dito na guys yung sinasabi ko, sana ang pinangalan natin dito sa it would have been better, yung pinangalan natin dito will be those values that will get 1. Kasi kung ginawa natin tong female, white, female, non-white, at saka non-union, ang lalabas dito, it would appear here, female, non-white, non-union. Sorry, hindi ko masyadong pinag-isipan kanina yung ginawa natin na pag-assign ng ng dummy variable. Okay, it would have been better kung ang nakalagay dito female, non-white, and union. Why? Kasi when we interpret now the dummy variables, ano ibig sabihin nito na negative 3.07? Okay, had we written it as this one, kunyari, ginawa nating female, okay, female, non-white, non-union, it would have been easier to interpret this. No? Ang interpretation nito ngayon, guys, okay, females on the average receive $3.07 less than their male counterparts, ceteris paribus. Let me repeat that, guys. Females on the average receive $3.075 less compared to, compare natin sa benchmark natin. Sino yung benchmark natin, guys? Ang benchmark natin, si male. Kasi si male yung ginawa nating zero. Therefore, si female ngayon, ang interpretation natin dito, okay, sorry let me repeat, baka makalimutan ko, guys. Ang best practice talaga, kung sino yung gagawin nating 1, yun ang ilalagay natin na pangalan dito. Okay, para hindi tayo malito sa pag-interpret, no? So, siguro i-redo nyo to, guys, tapos gawin nyo yung pangalan ng 1, alagay nyo dito female, no? So, yung equation yung magbabago. If this is equal to this, female, then put 1, otherwise 0. Kanina kasi inuna natin yung 0. Okay, back here, guys. I hope you're not confused, no? Ang ibig sabihin nito, si females, yung mga females daw, on the average, receive $3.07 less. Bakit less? Kasi negative siya. Than their male counterparts. Okay, so take note when we now are interpreting the coefficients, we now compare whatever the coefficient is to the benchmark. Okay? Yun ang gamit ngayon ng benchmark natin. So, kasi dito male na nga tapos ang benchmark natin male, no? So hindi magandang mas nakakalito yung pag-interpret. So females on the average receive $3.07 less than their male counterparts in terms of hourly wage, ceteris paribus. Non-white people receive $1.56 less compared to the white people in terms of hourly wage, ceteris paribus. And non-union members receive $1.09 less compared to the union members, okay, in terms of hourly wage, ceteris paribus. Okay, clear, guys? You want me to repeat the explanation? Okay, one last time, guys. Okay, kahit hindi kayo nagtatanong, I will repeat, no? Again, guys, mas magandang practice kung sino yung 1 na value, yun yung lagay nyo dito, no? So dapat female sana to. Ito, ang 1 natin dito yung non-white, dito naman non-union. So ang lalabas dito, guys, female, non-white, non-union. That way, guys, mas madali siyang i-interpret, no? For me, at least for me, I find it easier to interpret it this way as far as the coefficients are concerned. So let me repeat this for the last time. Ano interpretation itong negative 3.07488? Okay. Si female daw, okay, kasi female nga tong variable natin dito, no? Si females tend to receive on the average $3.07 of hourly wage less compared to their male counterparts. Yung mga non-whites daw tend to receive $1.56 less compared to their white counterparts, ceteris paribus. And then si non-union members tend to receive on the average $1.09 less than their union counterparts, ceteris, in terms of hourly wage, ceteris paribus. Okay? That's now the, guys, that's now the interpretation, no? Any questions, guys? Any questions? Hello, any questions?
None, sir.
None
Clear,
po.
Okay, so I hope clear, guys, yung pag-i-interpret ng nitong mga dummy variables natin. Okay. So, isang question dyan, pwede bang baliktarin natin yung benchmark, si female yung ginawa natin benchmark? Yes, pwede, guys. Pwede. So I leave that to you as an experiment, guys. baliktarin niyo yung baliktarin niyo yung pareho din lalabas na result, magiging positive nga lang to. Okay? Okay, ibig sabihin nun, si male yung ginawa nating 1, si female yung 0, ang magiging answer dito positive 3.07. Which means, ang interpretation, basahin nyo to, si male receives 3.07 for more than their counterparts, female counterparts, kasi magiging plus to. So you'll get the same answer, guys, kung baguhin nyo yung yung benchmark. So it will be indifferent, no? Okay, any questions, guys? Okay, so punta tayo dito. We have a few more minutes. Now, there's such a thing as interaction. Okay? Kasi ang tinignan lang kanina natin dito, female alone, non-white alone, union alone. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Hindi natin tinignan, paano kung female siya? Kasi ano sabi natin dito? Pag female ka, you tend to receive $3.07 less than the male counterparts. Okay? Ano mangyayari kung pareho kayong nag-increase ng 1 year in education? Diba? Ito ang sinasabi lang sa atin, pag nag-increase ng 1 year in education, 1.37 yung increase. Eh paano kung yung nag-increase in education, yung female? Ano ba yan? Alam ba natin dito? Here guys, we don't know. Kasi dito education lang to eh. No? Hindi natin dinidistinguish between female and male in terms of education. So if we want to do that, magi-interaction tayo. Ito yung interaction guys, yung next worksheet. So now we're going to introduce another variable. Ito yung interaction, no? Female, we're going to multiply, for example, female times education. Ito yun. Female times experience. Non-white times education. Non-white times experience. Union times education. Union times experience. Okay. So that's what we call interaction variables. No? Yung interaction, pinagsasama natin yung combined effect ng pwedeng dalawang continuous variables, pwedeng isang continuous at saka isang categorical, or pwede ring dalawang categorical. So, ganun yung interaction. In this case, in our subject, ang titingnan muna natin yung isang continuous variable education interacted with a categorical variable. So, how was this solved? Minultiply lang. Minultiply lang para to give us the interaction. So now, how many variables do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yung kanina plus yung interaction na 6. Pwede rin guys i-interaction to female at saka non-white, female at saka union. Kung tutuusin guys, maraming pwedeng interaction. Pero we'll leave that para sa i-experiment nyo na lang, i-try nyo yun. Ang titingnan natin yung interaction ni continuous at saka ni categorical variable. Alright? So ito, magkakatabi na yung mga yung mga dependent variable. So pwede na natin i-regress to. Okay, sige. So let's regress this. Add-ins, real stat, okay, or control M, regression, multiple linear regression. Okay? X natin will be from education hanggang dito sa interaction ng union at saka experience. So those are our dependent variables. Tapos si Y natin, itong wage. Okay. So same thing, wag muna tayong dito, wag na muna tayong mag-click ng iba. Ito lang muna. Alright? So saan ko ilalagay? Lagay ko sa O1, tama? O1. Okay. Let's place in O1. Then okay. Alright, then let me go to O1. Okay. Alright, so ito na yung natin, no? Immediately makikita tayong mga problema, guys, no? Kasi may mga tayo dito, may mga multicollinearity, no? Ayun, no? Ang tataasan mga VIF. This is one thing good with real stats. Without you asking this, binibigyan na kagad niya yung AIC at saka yung VIF, no? Automatic. Of course, meron pang ibang diagnostics na ibibigay si Okay, so let's look at the p-value. Overall significance, guys, okay naman tayo. Okay, sa f-stat natin, okay, our p-value is less than 0.05. Okay. So ano nangyari sa adjusted r-squared natin? 0.32. Is this better than yung original natin na dalawa lang? Oh, definitely, 0.27 lang to. Akaiki 4916 dito. Dito 4828. Di hamak na mas maganda yung may interaction, guys. Pero kung i-compare natin dito sa may walang interaction, 4834 to, ito 4828. Sino mas maganda, guys? Yung may interaction o yung walang interaction? Hello?
Sir, yung may interaction.
Mas maganda yung may interaction, no? Mas mababa yung ano niya, yung AIC. Saka mas mataas yung adjusted R-squared niya. Okay, so let's first take a look at, however, guys, hindi lahat significant yung mga predictors natin. If we go to p-value here, okay? So home, conditional formatting para mabilis tayo. Highlight cell rules greater than 0.05. Okay, 0.05, then you can just custom format kung gusto yung baguhin yung format. Okay, okay na ako dito. Ay, nawala. Conditional formatting, highlight cell rules greater than. We want Excel to highlight those values that are greater than 0.05. Yan. Okay. It's almost time, guys. Tapusin ko na lang to, ha. So, sino yung mga hindi significant dito? Yung mga nakapula, no? Greater than 0.05 siya. Okay? Greater than 0.05. So, ang gagawin natin dyan, guys, we will do what we call a stepwise regression. Ano yung stepwise regression? Okay? We're going to backward stepwise. Ang backward stepwise, meron na tayong model, magtatanggal tayo ng isa-isa ng mga regressors hanggang lahat maging significant. So you don't remove it all at once, you remove it one at a time. Sinong unang tinatanggal natin? Ang unang tinatanggal natin yung pinakamaliit na absolute value ng t-stat or pwede rin yung pinakamalaking p-value. Okay? So yan, no, guys. Dito ang pinakamalaking p-value ito. So non-white times experience. Ito yung pinaka hindi significant. Also, it has the lowest absolute value ng t-stats. Ayan, no? Compared to the others, ito 1.6, 1.0, 1.4, 1.6 din, 1.03, 0.72. Ito yung pinakamaliit, no? Na t-stat, which is pinakamalaking p-value. So, ibig sabihin yan, tatanggalin muna natin ito sa non-white times experience. Gets, guys? Gets? Okay, so,
Yes po.
tatanggalin yan. Ang nangyayari, para i-copy ko lang siya dito sa stepwise para alam natin kung ano yung step by step natin, ano? Control C. Okay. Hindi ko gagawin yung original. Control V. Okay, tapos ano yung tatanggalin natin, guys? Ano yung unang tatanggalin natin? Ano yun? Non-white times experience, di ba? Kasi siya yung pinakamalaking non-white times experience, pinakamalaking p-value. So, you're going to remove that non-white times experience. Tanggalin ko to. Delete. Okay? Delete. Tapos, ang may assignment kayo, guys, ha, tuloy-tuloy nyo to hanggang madulo, ha. Pakita ko yung next step para i-replicate na to. So what I'm going to do here is, magre-regress ulit ako. Control M. Okay. Regression, multiple. This time, nabawasan na to ng isa, yung pinaka hindi significant. Okay, tapos si X natin, ito. Okay, then same thing, Dito ko ilalagay lagay natin dito sa AA1. Ay, nako, kamali. X is ito. Y pala. And then ito guys, yung output, lagay ko dito sa AA1. Okay? Okay. Mali si Y daw. Sorry. Wage. Okay. Wala na naman to. I'm going to put here in A. Sa taas, AA1. Yan. Okay. Alright. Okay. So there you are guys. May panibago na namang model tayo, no? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Control C dito sa ano natin dito. Sa unang ginawa natin. And then here, copy paste values. Values lang. Okay. So ito na yung bagong output natin, no? Ano nangyari? Gumanda yung AIC, gumanda yung R squared 32746, 3270, gumanda. Okay? Pero ang susunod, tingnan ulit natin guys kung what you can do is just copy this. Format painter, i-copy dito. Yan. Kinapi ko lang guys ang format, tapos ito na yung mga hindi significant. Tapos continue guys, continue. Tingnan nyo yung susunod. Sino yung tatanggalin dyan? Ang tatanggalin dyan si pinakamalaking p-value, si ito. Si union times experience. So until such time guys na lahat na natira will be significant. Alright? So that will be your assignment for, sorry guys for extending, that will be your assignment for next meeting. So gawin nyo yan guys. Popost ko itong ginawa natin, pero ituloy nyo yan, i-compare lang natin guys kung ano yung final model. So what did we do guys? This is called your stepwise regression. We included everything first, and then we removed the insignificant ones one by one, basing it on the lowest absolute value ng t or highest p-value. Tinanggal natin isa-isa, hanggang lahat maging significant na. Is that clear guys?
Yes po.
Kaya, gagawin nyo yan guys ha. Hindi ko na gagawin yan sa class next meeting. Comparison
Yes,
na
sir.
lang tayo ha. Comparison na lang. Tapos tingnan natin kung ano yung final model. Tapos i-compare natin. I-interpret natin. Alright? So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your patience. I'll see you next on Thursday again. Okay, take care everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you
Thank you,
guys.
sir.
Salamat. Salamat.
Sir,
Yes.
hello po sir. Hindi po pala ako nakaabot sa attendance kanina
Sige,
sir.
dali ha. Sino to?
Si Siegfried po, Malabanan.
Siegfried. Sandali lang ha.
Sir, ako din po.
Okay, sandali. Buksan ko lang yung ano natin, yung attendance natin. Nagahang kasi minsan mo kaya. Siegfried, okay.
Thank you po sir.
Sino pa yung isa? Who's the other one? Dazal, ikaw ba yan?
Apo.
Okay, Dazal. Yan, okay na.
Okay po. Thank you po, sir.
Sige, alright, thank you.
Thank you sir. Thank you po.